This is my top 5 tips on landlording. This is for landlords who want a little more organization and insight, and then also tenants, when you're looking for landlords, these are kind of the good qualities I look for. I'm a landlord myself, and I also have property managers, so I've seen a lot of good ones, I've seen a lot of bad ones. I've had good tenants, bad tenants, and these are the things that I learned. Number 1, every landlord should have a nice move in and move out form. And what that form consists of is all the things that are in working condition, things that are kind of older, some things that are brand new, and you check it off and you list it and it's clearly listed. Have video recordings of everything that you have. A lot of people cannot refute the video recordings. So I would do that, and then have the tenant check off on it so that you guys both understand that there's a level of expectation of what's good, what's in working order, what's new, what's old, what's at the end of its shelf life, right? You just want to make those expectations very, very clear. Number 2, there's a lot of tenants who like to complain about everything, but the majority of tenants don't complain about anything. And that is a problem. Someone who doesn't complain about anything can be an issue. Why? Because they're going to ignore certain repairs that need to be done immediately. For example, I had an experience where I was representing a buyer and we discovered that there was mold in the unit that we were going to purchase. Now that mold was built over time and it was a slow drip, and the tenant never said anything, even though they suspected something, because they didn't want to bother anybody. Okay, so what I would do is I would encourage my tenant, if there's anything plumbing that you suspect, anything electrical, please tell me right away. Number 3, if something is broken, fix it right away. Do not be someone that says, oh, that's not that big of a deal. No, everything as a landlord has to be a pretty darn big deal to you, right? Especially when it comes to anything to do with water and electrical, fix it right away. I like to do mine at least 24 hours within 24 hours of when I get notice. Number 4, do not just raise rents on your tenants just because you feel like it. Check the markets. Not only check the markets, but check the tenant. What I mean by that is there are people who are just excellent tenants. Now, vacancy is the number one reason why people will lose money on their investment properties. What you don't want is vacancies, right? But now check out the tenant. If the tenant has given you zero trouble, has given you no real repairs to take care of other than the normal wear and tear, I would do whatever I can to keep this tenant. So I don't like to raise rents on people that are doing good for you. The only time I would is I look at the market. If the market has so outpaced what the tenant is paying, then I would consider it. Or I would consider it if that tenant has been a horrible tenant that's costing me thousands of dollars in repairs. Obviously, they're not taking good care of the property. Then I would consider raising the rents. Number 5, I like to give people ample time when their lease is up. I don't like to do it like a month before. I like to do it about 3 months before. I like to give them a heads up and say, hey, your rent renewal is about to come up. Just, have some plans ready, but I'll get back to you in a month, right? Just to give them a heads up. Now, the best case scenario is they already know and they're like, hey, we're going to stay for another year. Can we work this out? And you work it out early, which is always the best. You don't want to work it out right before that. Right? But giving people ample time shows you respect them and that you appreciate them. And not only that, that they have enough time for them to plan out their future. If this was helpful to you, tell your friends and family about me if they need any kind of real estate help.